What is going on, my St. Louis City fam? I'm your girl Kelly, here to give you the rundown on what happened in St. Louis City government this week, and I'm gonna get right into it because they was busy this week. So the first highlight, um, there was proposed legislation discussed that city voters might see on the ballot in April, y'all. So yes, this was Board Bill 145, sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, which is looking to submit to voters a proposal for the issuance of up to $50 million of general obligation public improvement bonds. There will be no tax increase. If approved, the funds raised, it could be used. I'm going to provide several examples of what these coins could be used for if it's approved by the voters. So, resurfacing streets and bridges, designing and constructing a public safety answering point, which will be a new state-of-the-art emergency operations center combining police, fire, EMS, and also the Citizen Service Bureau. Designing and constructing pedestrian and bicycle transportation facilities, maintaining the safety and security of the jails and improving public safety, and also replacing, improving, renovating, and maintaining buildings, bridges, and equipment of the city of St. Louis, including neighborhood rec centers and firehouses. So, just some examples on how that coin could be utilized. Miss Latanya Kenner from the Comptroller's office, she kind of laid out for the committee, really looking at the capital improvement needs for the city of St. Louis. So apparently, the city of St. Louis needs a total of $436 million with regards to making capital improvements. So there are some proposals on the table that can kind of cut into that cost to cover those costs. So proposed ARPA funding appropriation to the tune of $67.5 million. There's also a proposal on the table from the city's capital fund to the tune of $16.4 million. There's also a proposal with regard to the economic development sales tax, public safety infrastructure account to the tune of $1 million. Also proposed ARPA funding appropriation, so the second installment of this ARPA coin to the tune of $125 million. So if you add up those potential proposals, you still looking at over $200 million that's needed to cover all of the capital improvement costs for the city. So this legislation is an attempt to cover these costs and use all avenues when it comes to getting the needed resources to make these improvements. Alderwoman Davis, she wanted to be known that this does not bring any additional taxation to the community. No new taxes, y'all. And she also mentioned that the city has paid down its debt and they have the opportunity to use these bonds towards these much needed capital improvements, which ain't nothing new. So what's important to know, y'all, so if this legislation, if it is passed by the full Board of Aldermen, goes to the voters approve of this measure, it will come back to the Board of Aldermen, and the Board of Aldermen will be approving how these dollars are spent. So I just wanted to make sure y'all were aware of that. So this proposed legislation, it did pass out of the committee with due pass recommendation to the full Board of Aldermen, and it was also perfected by the full Board of Aldermen during their meeting earlier today. So the next highlight I wanted to mention. So there was a discussion during the Ways and Means Committee meeting where the St. Louis Development Corporation was really speaking about equitable development in the city of St. Louis and also its impact when we're looking at the St. Louis public schools. So Mr. Neil Richardson, who is leading the St. Louis Development Corporation, aka SLD for short, he really spoke to a lot of things. So first and foremost, he really expressed, he's like, look, y'all, it is a new day when we're talking about economic development in the city of St. Louis, and especially with regards to its impact on the St. Louis public schools. He said that SLDC will be intentional about having SLPS join them at the table during these development deals. So their priorities, their needs, their voices can be included when coming up with these deals and coming up with these agreements, and also to make sure that SLPS they become more knowledgeable of the complexities of these, of development, right? So, what does equitable development in action look like when we're talking about something that can benefit not only the St. Louis public schools, but also, the broader city, right? So, the example that Mr. Richardson included or mentioned was this Deli Star deal. So in exchange for incentives, Deli Star will kind of do three things. So they'll host an annual 2-day special St. Louis Public Schools edition of its ongoing internal collaborative platform known as Deli Star University. They'll also ensure that resumes received from St. Louis Public School grads over the age of 18 and qualified will receive priority review. Applicants who participated in the Deli Star University will be given extra consideration. And lastly, Deli Star will promote awareness of the St. Louis Public Schools Foundation and provide opportunities for its employees and visitors to the Deli Star premises to donate to the foundation. They'll make a one-time $2,500 cash contribution to the foundation next year, and they'll also implement a roundup for St. Louis Public Schools Foundation option on invoices to encourage donations to the foundation. So apparently this is the first time that any type of an agreement like this has ever happened in the city of St. Louis. And yes, Mr. Richardson said, look, if Deli Star don't do what they supposed to be doing and follow through with this agreement, those incentives that the city provided them will be withdrawn because they ain't playing around with these folks. Something else that Mr. Richardson mentioned that I wanted to lift up. So St. Louis Development Corporation, SLDC, they are developing their Economic Justice Action Plan. And this plan really encompasses 4 buckets. So 1, workforce development, 2, business empowerment, 3, neighborhood transformation, and 4, equitable development principles. So SLDC is currently seeking input from St. Louis residents to really flesh out and shape the development of this plan. So I'll be sure to share the link when I post this video, so y'all closed mouths don't get fed. So go ahead, fill out the survey. It's not that long, to make sure your input is heard. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with SLDC, because it seems like they got a whole new vibe and a whole new energy, and really rethinking and reimagining what truly equitable development looks like in the city of St. Louis. So yeah, we'll stay tuned on that. The next highlight I wanted to mention, the Homer G. Phillips Hospital foolery. I'm just gonna say that. So real quick, for folks that don't know, so there is a new 3-bed hospital or clinic, or however you want to spin it, that is slated to open next year off Jefferson, so not too far from where the new NGA development's going on. And so this project, it is being spearheaded by the entity Northside Regeneration. And yes, who is leading that project is developer Paul McKee, y'all. Yes, yes. And when it came out that this new facility would be named Homer G. Phillips Hospital, the community was big mad. And not because, people were happy to see a medical facility on the north side. That wasn't it, but they felt like it was really doing a disgrace to the legacy of the original Homer G. Phillips and the Homer G. Phillips Hospital, as well as they felt like it was cultural appropriation, that this legacy, which was, is ingrained in the Ville, was really being taken from them. So apparently community members, they set up a meeting with Paul McKee a month or so ago at City Hall. Paul McKee was a no-show. And so kind of as a result of all those things, Alderwoman Tyus, she worked with, a couple other people as well to draft a resolution really calling for those involved with this project to change the damn name of this facility. So there were hella people that testified in support of this resolution. A lot of folks that had, direct connections to the original Homer G. Phillips Hospital. So folks that interned and worked there, all of that. Again, in support of this resolution. There was one person that testified on the record against the resolution. This was Mr. Darrell Piggy, who serves as a current board member of this project. And he wanted it to be known that the idea of naming this facility after Homer G. Phillips, or naming it the Homer G. Phillips Hospital, didn't come from the white dude, Paul McKee. He said, nah, it came from me. I'm a black man. I'm a product of the St. Louis Public Schools. And knowing the history of Homer G. Phillips Hospital, I thought this would be a great way to honor its legacy. So, yeah. Alderman Gunther, I believe it was, flat out asked him, like, would you and your board, would y'all consider changing the name, because clearly you have the community not checking for it? And Mr. Piggy said, nope, which set off Alderwoman Tyus. And she literally said, look, bruh, you done disrespected the community. You done disrespected this here Board of Aldermen. So if y'all asses need some more tax incentives or some more resources from the city of St. Louis, do not come looking for us. She said, I will fight tooth and nail to make sure y'all don't get a damn thing from the city. So yeah, the resolution was passed out of committee. And then after a lengthy discussion during today's Board of Aldermen meeting, it was passed by the full Board of Aldermen. And then lastly, but certainly not least, y'all, redistricting season is coming to a close, you guys. So this week there was a special Board of Aldermen meeting called to finalize the redistricting and the ward reduction process in the city of St. Louis. And really the main purpose of it was to number the wards. So if y'all have been following this closely, the drafted maps have not had numbers on them. They've had letters. So this meeting that happened on Wednesday was to really implement this process to number the wards in a transparent, public, and neutral manner while on Zoom. So they had the clerk, Miss Sharita, flip this coin. Yes, y'all, a coin toss. So they had her flip this coin, and if it was head, I still, honestly, y'all, to be honest, I don't understand what heads and tails, I don't know what it meant. But it was a very controversial process with them going back and forth for damn near over an hour. Yes, over a coin toss, y'all, because it was controversial. And so eventually it came to some resolve because the wards are numbered now. So there were some small tweaks made to the map after Wednesday's controversial coin toss. And, apparently the city councilor's office, I guess they did their legal analysis, said, yo, from a legal standpoint, this map is Gucci. So after during today's board meeting, the Board of Aldermen, they perfected the legislation laying out the new ward boundaries for the city of St. Louis. Yeah, y'all. So I'm rounding it out with the legislative corner. So there were quite a few pieces of legislation passed during today's Board of Aldermen meeting, but I'm just going to lift up a few that I just wanted y'all to know about. So one, Board Bill 135, it authorizes the health department to accept a Closing the Gap with Social Determinants of Health Food and Nutrition grant totaling $89,000 from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Second bill that was passed, Board Bill 141, permanently closes traffic flow at the intersection of East Grand Avenue and North 2nd Street. And lastly, but certainly not least, another bill that was passed today, Board Bill 123, which approves the petition for the creation, extension, renewal, and establishment of the Downtown St. Louis Community Improvement District, aka the Downtown SID. Whew, that's all I have for y'all this week. Please have a great weekend. Be safe, and you'll see me soon. Peace.